Merry Christmas from Santa
and Mrs. Claus
and our friends at Heart Full of Hallmark.
Remember to like and subscribe.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Heartful of Hallmark. We are so excited to be joined by Corey and Mike today. Thank you guys for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely, yeah. Happy to be here.
And we're here to talk about their new Christmas movie with Becky Dalton, airing on Lifetime next month, Rodeo Christmas Romance. Before we get into that, I have to say, nobody can see what I see. So I saw, oh my God, Corey's reaction, as soon as every person in the intro was there, your reaction was priceless. I loved it. He's like, holy crap.
I have to tell you, that was an awesome intro. And the fact that Becky is our leading lady and she's like the first person I saw. And then I saw like 6 other people I know. I was like, oh, they're so-and-so, they're so-and-so. So yeah, I was like, it's a very warm welcome for me. So that's awesome. Good job, guys.
We made that, and I'm like, Kirsten gets the last say so. I'm like, Becky has to go first. That is my standalone. She has to go first.
Yeah. She's the best. She's the best.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
We'll talk to her eventually. She was supposed to be here, but we will have her on very, very soon, and we hope to have you guys as a surprise on for her.
Sure. Just tell me when.
Yeah. Right. Good.
So, for everybody up in Canada, you have seen this on the W Network. For everybody in the States and every place else, it is airing on Lifetime in December. We were lucky enough that Lifetime sent us a screener. Thank you to Lifetime. You have been so kind to us. And Mike and Corey, what do you say? Let's get into the questions.
Let's go.
Do it.
All right. So leading into the first one, I'm going to ask Mike first, and then we'll lead into our questions for both Corey and Mike and go back and forth. So for everybody who's new to the channel, I'm going to use it as an example. My name is going to be up here first so that we don't talk over each other. And then Kirsten's name will be up there when it's her question and vice versa. So can you tell us a little bit about what this movie is?
Sure. So Rodeo Christmas Romance is, well, if the title doesn't explain, it's a movie about Emma, who's a bronc rider, wanting to compete in the Christmas showcase, but her horse gets injured, and her colleague and best friend goes on to compete without her. She stays at his ranch while the horse heals. Now, her colleague's estranged brother, Noel, also comes back to the ranch at this time, and they butt heads and then allow sparks to fly. I guess that's maybe the way to pitch it.
That's the perfect pitch.
Nailed it.
So let's get into this. There's something that a lot of Hallmark fans are not used to, and I thought that this would be the best question to lead into to kind of break the ice. The Hallmark group is not really mine and Kirsten's age. It's normally like 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and they throw a fit. So let's make them throw a fit now. Give them a little bit of a tease. There's a pretty sexy kiss in this. How did you shoot this, and while making sure everybody was comfortable, but making it as sexy as possible?
That's a great question. Thank you for that question. And I will let Mike chime in as well, because he was a big part of this process, as was our intimacy coordinator that we had on the set. It was, from my vantage point, it was my understanding that, the typical format of sort of building to the one final kiss, that we didn't do that with this. Not to give too much away, but it has an interesting arc to the romance, which I thought was really nice and fresh. And we were told that there's going to be a few moments where you're seeing that kind of that courtship, and that there was going to be a moment, not the traditional ending, but kind of halfway through or wherever it fell in the film, where it was going to be a slightly more passionate maybe than you'd see. And so there was a lot of discussion about that with Mike, with Becky, and our intimacy coordinator. And I felt from my vantage that we really had the great conversations we needed to make sure Becky was comfortable, I was comfortable, and that we were serving the story in the best way that they wanted from the script. And then it was, in the end, all the talk led to, I think in the end we only did maybe 2 or 3 takes, and it was brief, but I don't want to speak for Becky, but on our experience on set was, I think everyone felt really comfortable with how it went, and hopefully the audience will enjoy that passionate part of the film.
Mike?
I mean, what Corey said, basically, from my perspective filming it, you do always want to make sure that everybody's comfortable, not just because you want to be a good person, but also that's actually what makes the stuff better. Like, in order to perform anything, that these kinds of things, you're watching the movie and they're very intimate, or they could be, as you described it, sexy, but a film set is none of those things. It's loud. There's lots of people all around. Some of them are strangers, and it can be strange to be a part of filming something like that. So the key was, again, working with the intimacy coordinator, Corey. Like, you and I had conversations, Becky and I had conversations, you and Becky had conversations, and the intimacy coordinator helped coordinate kind of all of that stuff. And I felt like, just, because we all felt pretty good about it. I mean, you and Becky also, you guys know each other really well. So there's a comfort that you guys would bring to it naturally, because of your, experience and knowing each other as friends for such a long time.
That's
and
right.
I think that kind of allowed the arena to be such that then it could look spontaneous and look, a little steamier than it may have actually felt if you were there on the day, where everybody starts laughing and giggling.
That's the trick. It's like a magic trick, in the sense that, as Mike alluded to, it's a choreographed thing. It's actually typically a very technical process.
Mm-hmm.
It can be awkward. This was the 4th film that I had the pleasure of working with Becky on. So we've developed a real trust, a real true friendship in life. So it's kind of funny to do something like that with a friend. But as you said, I think we both approached it very workmanlike, in terms of, we want to sell this beat in the story. And because we had that trust with each other, we were able to relax, work with the choreographer to get the right choreography, and sync that with what Mike wanted, and the camera team, and the 20 other people that are around. But yeah, the idea is to create that romantic moment, that magic on screen, so that the audience feels it's spontaneous. And we did I feel the required work to build the framework around it. So
I like too, like, how there was like a slow burn that progressed through the whole film, and you could really like see the chemistry throughout it.
Yeah. I don't want to give too much away for people who haven't seen the film, but what I liked was there was this feeling, I think, of chemistry and attraction pretty much out of the gate. Yeah. But there's a good amount of time that they're resisting for various reasons that I'll let the audience sort of uncover as they watch it. So that was fun to play with as well, the reasons why, and it really connected with family themes and stuff that I also thought was it wasn't just the romantic relationship. There's a real interesting relationship between the 2 brothers, as Mike said in the intro. And that was nice to see. There's an arc, a family arc between the brothers, which I really thought was cool for the story as well.
Yeah, I enjoyed that too, because usually we only see like the 2 leads like interacting a lot, and this time we got to see the sibling bond grow too.
Yeah, exactly. That was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I felt like all 4 of the characters, what I found was really cool about this one was that all 4 of the main characters all had different relationships with each other.
Yes.
And because of that, you put different ones in a room together, and it's like, these 2 are having their conversation, these 2 are having their conversation, these 2 are having theirs. And it sort of had this interconnected web. And there was, and honestly, Corey, my hat's off to you and the rest of the cast, because what I loved about what you guys did was you really managed to keep things that could have been really serious still entertaining. you guys balanced the comedy with the serious stuff where it never disrespected either, and it never felt like we were watching two different movies. It all and really, like, you guys, it was really fun for me to get to watch it because there would be takes, and and especially when it was all four of you, because there's people coming in and out and doing all sorts of stuff, and I'm watching it, I'm just like, oh yeah, we're making a movie. I thought I was just watching a movie. So
Thanks. And Mike's being very, he's being very humble. He's such a great director that we had these great conversations, and he allowed us. He both had strong ideas, and always guided us, but also created space for us to find those moments. And yeah, so it was a pleasure to bounce all this. And like you said, it was this kind of fine line between, there are some very serious and justifiably serious themes in the film, but we also, it was in the writing, it was in Mike's blocking, and it was in, the fun that we were able to have as performers to find just when you think it's going to get real, dramatic, something really funny would happen, or something really endearing or romantic would happen. So we were always trying to, as Mike said, ride that little roller coaster. And I certainly hope that we pulled it off. So.
Me too.
Okay, so here we go.
So this one is more for Corey. I don't want to spoil too much, but you did have like a lot of like funny moments in the movie, like the cookie scene and joking about the gingerbread cookies.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Favorite one?
Yeah. Anytime I get to eat delicious cookies is pretty much on the top of my list. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I mean, honestly, I've known Becky for so many years. And is also in the film. She's the love interest for my brother, another person that I've known and worked with many times. Just being like the scene where we go to the cafe and she, she hasn't seen me in forever. And again, don't want to give any spoilers, but there's a lot of comedy that happens in that triangle. And so like that was a very memorable scene just because, Becky and Ann are such good comedic performers. So I just kind of got to like bounce off of their energy. And then I did really enjoy some of the more serious, themes too. There, the military, background that my character has. Obviously not like funny, but when you get the opportunity as a performer to dig into, to some real, profound things that people in real life have experienced. That was a pleasure too. And again, you're surrounded by great performers and a great director. That makes that enjoyable. So I got to dig into a lot of different things, comedy and a little bit of drama on this one. And I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, you did a really good job with like integrating both types of themes in the role.
Thank you.
And that leans perfectly into the next question.
With your character being in the military and experiencing loss, how did you prepare for more of those emotional moments and scenes?
That's a great question. I mean, Mike and I had some great talks about figuring out sort of the temperature of that. And again, we've sort of spoken to sort of like, you don't want it to, you still want to entertain, you want to uplift. And ultimately it is an uplifting message, I think that ran through that. I have not had personal military experience, but I've had the pleasure of doing a lot of military roles over the years. I've been around some people that had real military service. So I felt a certain onus to try to do my best to portray that as honestly. And Mike, I'll open it to you too. I'm not sure if you want to share, but you had some friends that had military experience as well. So I remember we did a lot early on. We did a lot of bouncing off each other on like, how people who've really had those experience would act in those circumstances. And I always leaned on Mike to be like, did that feel authentic? That was sort of my guiding force for it. So.
Yeah, one of my best friends served, and so when I saw we were going to be making this movie and what the script was, I ran it by him, and I was just like, what's your perspective on this? Is there anything we want to make sure that we're sensitive about, or something that we want to lean into more or pull back away from? And talked to him about it, and he helped guide me to kind of understand how we should attack this stuff. And then kind of going in with that, I then, Corey, you and I talked a lot about those scenes, both before we started shooting anything, but then also right before we would shoot those scenes. Because the challenge with that stuff is that because this is a rom-com for the most part, you don't want to let that lighter atmosphere disrespect the serious stuff. But you still have to find a way to add in, not necessarily in the meat of the scene, but have ways for the film to sort of get you into that and be completely respectful of what Noel, in this instance, would have gone through.
Yeah.
But then find a way to kind of weave the scene at the end so that we're back in rom-com land and we aren't just like pulling a record scratch and disregarding everything. Right?
Yeah. Exactly. And two things came to mind. One thing I wanted to say was I actually thought it was really amazing that they incorporated the therapist who was helping, to see that in a film like this, and even in those scenes, there are moments of levity, despite the fact that they're dealing with very serious things. And we had a wonderful actress, in those couple of scenes, which I really enjoyed. So that was, I just thought was such a cool thing. And the other thing that Mike had said to me, like early on, I don't want to give away, but, my character has had an injury. And even the way, you do the first take and you're like, well, I'm talking about something serious, and then Mike had a great note that he said, the people I know, and he's so right. They often they try to make light of how serious those things are. So not making light of what happened, but the way they talk about it, that sort of deflection. So I took that as a really good note to try to think of. So, you can feel the weight of what's happened, but he's trying to brush it off and he's not trying to lay that heaviness on others, which I thought was a noble quality that I really liked about Noel's character. And then surrounded by so many great supports that he has through Becky's character, and the wonderful Brandon, who played our wonderful ranch hand, a guy that's known him before his military service and after. Some really, really nice relationships in all of the different characters in this film. And I commend the writer for that as well. So.
Yeah. They did a really amazing job with like making sure every character was like represented throughout it, and also like keeping it authentic to the core of the movie as well, and balancing between the serious and lightheartedness of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This interview is going swimmingly. We've covered so many questions. We're just like, let's pick a few now. We've covered most of them. I love this. This makes my job easy.
Hey, that's great.
So let's lean into this. Before filming, did any of you have any experience with the rodeo culture or ranch life?
Corey, do you want to go first?
I've been to a few rodeos. I have some experience riding horses. I've had the great pleasure of learning to ride for films since even when I was very young, but I by no means had rodeo experience. I didn't grow up on a ranch. So no, I had to sort of invent, fill in the gaps with some of that. But over the years, again, I've worked with so many incredible, horse wranglers and stunt performers in that space that I just sort of try to absorb things to try to find qualities and commonalities that you see with all these great people that teach you and help you through this. So I've had experience kind of secondhand through that.
Yeah, and I don't have personal experience either. For me, it was more just leaning into the script itself and finding the characters speak for themselves, right? And so just kind of leaning into that and letting that guide everything. Obviously, from a visuals standpoint, you lean into the style and you lean into all of those things. But then ultimately it's just a story about these people.
Yeah, exactly. But it was a really fun backdrop to have for this film. And as an actor, you put on a cowboy boots, you just start walking a little different.
You do.
all of a sudden there's just a little bit of a twang, and even that sort of accent, we didn't want to go too heavy, but we wanted to feel there was a rhythm to the way some of the characters spoke in the film. So all that you try to just kind of tip your hat, no pun intended, so that it has a bit of authenticity to it.
Yeah, I will say, Corey, when I remember when we were shooting the big scene in the barn, the Cowboy Carol, and you showed up and you had the hat, and you had the boots, you were walking different. Like you didn't have, even when we weren't filming, I was like, all right, okay, this is cool.
It changes you, and it was kind of fun because I had the benefit of sort of starting very much in the military world in the film, and then he's kind of refinding his cowboy roots, his ranch roots. So that was sort of a reveal, and then it just happened that in the filming, the first thing that we shot where I was in the whole getup was that scene, and that's kind of his coming back home, I should say. So it is amazing how wardrobe and those kind of elements, standing in a barn, just kind of gives you a little more. You're smelling the hay,
Yeah, the wardrobe definitely made. Did you get to keep any of the wardrobe from the film, like the hat or anything?
Oh, I wish. I think my hat was a rental, or else I would have tried to swipe it. But, I didn't want to do that to production. But sometimes you do. When I was young, I did a film that's the film that I learned to ride on. It was a Disney film called Summer of the Monkeys, and the one thing they did let me do was keep my cowboy hat and it was like a period piece, 1800s. I still have it, and I put it on my son, who looks a lot like me. And I had this moment of like, oh my gosh, it's like looking in a mirror, going back in time. So I do, wherever possible, I try to keep a little something special.
Disney, I think it's time for a remake. I'm just saying. That's right. Time for a remake. Disney Plus original.
I like it.
My final question is going to be for Mike, and then I'm going to let my co-host take it away.
Okay.
Mike, was there a shot that was more difficult than the others?
Ooh, a specific shot. Was there a shot? You know which one actually was? Probably just from a technical orchestration. You guys had talked about this scene earlier. It was the cookie one.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Did it in a oneer. And it started in, and then it came off the cookies, and then we had some choreo, and there was, comedy beats that we had to hit that had to sync with the camera beats. So it's it looks really simple and elegant because they all pulled it off effortlessly, but it wasn't actually effortless. And it took us a minute to kind of get it down. It's funny because sometimes the stuff that looks simple can actually be, a lot more difficult. Sometimes we'll be filming something and there will be like a 4 or 5 minute scene, and we film it a lot quicker than a scene that's super simple, but just because you have to pick the thing up and look at it just so, and it has to hit, you spend time threading the needle and getting it perfect. And this was one of those moments. I think we did the most takes on that one just to get it right.
Again, more cookies for me. So I was not going to.
We've been told many, many times, any film with food is a pain in the neck, just because for a Hallmark film or a rom-com, you have to shoot that thing so precise. It has to look perfect. And then eating it is the fun part, because when you get retakes, if you have a private chef on there, like some of the other people we've had on here, that they go, I get to eat this, but they just get to look at it.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I should let him say it at some point, but Jim Watson had a scene where he had to eat pie. Remember that? And,
I do.
And we were like, so you don't have to actually like chew it and take it. It was like, no, this is good pie. I want to eat it. And I was like, Jim, really don't have to. Well, 14 takes later. Not 14 takes from one shot. Like they were doing it really smoothly, but you have all the angles that you need to get.
Yeah.
So it's 2 or 3 takes per angle, but you're doing 5 or 6 angles. Yeah. It adds up, and by the end, I remember going over to him and I was like, I bet you regret insisting on actually eating the pie, don't you? And he was like, yeah, and he couldn't look at it for the rest of the shoot because we had.
We teased him. We were like, we should get him a pie as a wrap gift. Like, no. That's exactly right, because the cookie scene for me was, as Mike said, a oneer. So meaning that I knew once we got that there were no more angles. So I felt pretty comfortable going in for a decent bite. But Jim, he just, he was hungry. He wanted some pie. It was delicious looking pie.
It-
But yeah,
I had the leftovers after, and it was delicious. But I got to eat a human size amount rather than what Jim had to do.
but Jim sacrificed for the comedy of the film because there's a gag that both the brothers love pie.
Yeah.
And I got to say, he committed more than I did for the pie. So hats off to him, but he had a stomach ache.
Who was it, Kirsten? Who did a film with a lot of food where they said that I ate that? I ate every single thing.
Was it when they talked about Buddy Velastro cooking for them? And like Cake Boss came and cooked?
Oh yeah, Max.
Yes, Max.
That was Max McGuire. He says any shoot, any scene with food, it was understood that when I said cut, the food was coming to me. It was coming to me.
Max is a smart man. I've known Max for years. And in fact, the first film I did with Becky was with Max McGuire.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it's a full circle moment here. Yeah. So that's funny.
We all connect here.
Yeah.
It's a small world.
It is. It is.
That Disney song was right. It's kind of scary, actually. All right.
And you had action and outdoor roles before that have been physically demanding. What was this one like? And did you have to do like a certain workout routine?
Well, there were a few moments where, there was, I wasn't, my upper body was slightly exposed, I guess we would say. So thankfully they scheduled all the cookie eating scenes for after those initial scenes. So I was able to enjoy that. But no, for that, truthfully, the core of it was that, I was playing a military character. So, so I felt that, he'd be a guy, be a, physical guy. So, I did as much, working out at the gym, and maybe a couple of push-ups in between takes to try, and even the way he moved and things like that, he was a physical character. So I just tried to do anything I could in my own, routine leading up to the film to make sure that I felt strong as I felt the character would be. Like I said, I think it was pretty kind to me. I think we did most of those scenes early on in the shoot too. So, so we got those out of the way pretty quick, and it was fun. It was fun. Definitely grabbed a few sandbags and a few push-ups before we got in there.
And for Mike, this movie blends like the grit of rodeo life with also the comfort of a Christmas romance. What was your vision for bringing these two worlds together?
I mean, I think we've sort of alluded to this before. Yeah. The character dynamics are, it's a lot of them are people that have either known each other for a long time or are literally family. And so there's a sort of intimacy that can come with that. And with intimacy can come a lot of humor, right? When you know somebody and you've known them for decades, you got the best one-liners against them, And so for me, it was like we have the life that these guys are a part of in terms of their day-to-day, like their jobs. But that this movie kind of almost erases that when they're just in a room talking to each other, and it kind of just gets down to the core of who they are and what makes them tick, and then hopefully what makes us smile.
Yeah. And also a lot of this film talked about like healing and second chances and letting the holidays like soften those old wounds. What message do both of you hope that viewers take away from the characters' experiences?
That's a great question. I'll let you speak to that, Mike, as well. The healing aspect was a really important theme. For Noel, the character I played, there's the physical healing. He's suffered an injury in the war. There's the healing of his relationship with his brother. And I think there's some really touching moments where we see that. What's fun, I thought about, again, sort of that dynamic of the relationships. Becky's character, Emma, she's kind of a sounding board for both brothers. And I love how, and she has her own, I'll let Becky speak to that when you speak to her, but her character has her own things that she's sort of coming to terms with, and there's growth there for her emotionally as well. But it was kind of fun that, there's romance between, Noel and Emma, but there's also her wanting to see these two brothers get over, some of the things that have happened. And I found, as I read the script, and I hope the viewers feel the same way, that you're watching these, you can see it from both sides, and it's about finding that common ground and that understanding. So from a Christmas perspective, the theme of family, forgiveness, is so important. So there's that, and then there's the thread of forgiveness that Noel has to come to terms with for himself. Because again, I don't want to give too much away, but there's a real powerful emotional thread in the film where, through the help of all these wonderful characters that he's surrounded by, help his healing journey from that as well. So yeah, I hope it makes people laugh. I hope it makes them smile, and I also hope that it touches them however they want to take it in, because there's lots of different things to enjoy about the film. But I hope that it gives you the feels, and it's a really enjoyable experience.
I can say as a viewer of seeing it, like, it definitely does touch on all those things.
That's cool. It does. Thank you.
For me, the characters in this movie, they're all really brave people, right? And I think that what I really like about the story is that it shows you that one of the bravest things you can do is actually be vulnerable and open up and let people who love you. And that ties into the Christmas spirit really nicely as well. And so I hope they take that, but I also hope that they laugh a lot, because there's a lot of comedy in this movie too.
Yes.
And again, I've said it already today, but what Corey, you and Becky and Jim and Anne and everybody in the cast kind of really managed to do was walk that line and balance the heart with the comedy in a really fun way, for me at least. And I only can hope that if I like watching it, that other people would too.
Yeah, I loved all the little like sneaky, like witty moments and like one-liners that are like hidden in throughout the movie.
I love that some of those were kept in.
Yes.
Some were scripted and some were not.
Okay.
And I giggled every time. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm so glad that they kept that take in and little things, because again, it was a great cast. It was a great it was just a great team, and we're very grateful that Mike kind of I think whenever something like that slipped out, we would look over and see Mike going, yeah, that's in
the corner.
If we can make Mike laugh and smile, then we're like, okay, our job here is done. Yeah.
So there's the end of those questions. So before we get into the next segment, we should both say we knew about this film very early on, only because of one person. Becky Dalton's Instagram story showed a little bit of a sneak peek. And then all she showed was the back of Corey. It was your back and your head. And immediately after, I'm like, I think Corey and Becky are working together, Kirsten. Where did you see that?
Oh, no.
All caps. Legitimate. Oh, yes, they are. Another movie. And I'm like, oh, Jesus. Okay. And then
awesome.
Immediately we're like, Becky would be so down. She'd be so down to come on and talk about it. When we had her on, she talked about you in flying colors, as well as your wife. She spoke about your wife with flying colors.
It's like I said, she is like become a true friend to like my wife and I, and her husband James, like just salt of the earth people. And yeah, it's this business is you run into a lot of the same people. It's a small world, as we've talked about, but you really feel fortunate when you make genuine friendship. And yeah, I mean, she's so much fun. We have so much trust in each other that like we're like, man. And we had never done a Christmas movie before. That's the other cool thing, is that I feel like we had done so much together, but we're like, how have we never done a Christmas movie before? we had talked about that on our previous project, and then lo and behold, this came, and we didn't know when each of us were cast that was happening. It was like, because there's always negotiate what's going to happen, and then it was like, I think it was, she texted my wife first. She's like, is Corey doing the cowboy romance? And then, so we were very excited. And then my wife is even more excited because they talk all the time. So she's no, it's like I said, I feel the same. Becky's the best. And, when you have a co-star like that, I think it helps elevate the material because you just have that much more fun.
Yeah.
This is a really.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Noah.
You
You're good.
go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, your personalities and your friendship shines through on the screen.
Good. That's what we want.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very small world here, just because everyone that we've met in this rom-com verse, as I call it, are just so down to earth. I mean, 98% of the actors, writers, everybody in this world are the nicest people on planet Earth. It's unbelievable that we get to talk to you guys. There's so many just fun people in the industry that are completely opposite of what you see on screen. But everyone that we meet from these films are exactly like who they are on screen, or even better. So we are lucky just to get to do this as a hobby and not be paid for it. But we get paid because we get to meet you guys and have fun with you guys. But speaking of having fun with you guys, we're going to play a couple of games with you guys. We have a little bit of time left. So we're going to do Would You Rather, This or That Christmas Movie Edition, and Christmas Song Edition.
Oh,
okay.
So I'm going to let you guys choose which one would you rather go with first.
let's do it. We made a Christmas movie. Why don't we start with the Christmas movie?
Let's do it.
All right.
Yeah.
So for everybody new here, we're going to pop up different Christmas films side by side, and we will ask you which one would you rather watch, this or that. So Kirsten will start us off with this one.
Okay. Home Alone or Elf?
Oh, man.
Both great.
Both classics.
The hardest one.
I have an answer, though. I do have an answer.
Okay.
And it's Home Alone. And it's only because this is no shade toward Elf. It's that when I was a kid, I learned how to set up traps because of Home Alone. And little things around the house, and thankfully nobody got hurt. But there was an aspect of my childhood that was formed because of Home Alone. So therefore, it's always got a special place in my heart.
I love that.
Yeah, I got to go with Home Alone as well. Only recency bias because I just watched it with my son for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and of course, any 6-year-old is like, "Oh my gosh, I want to do this." So I'm like, "Be careful." I mean, but he just thought it was the coolest. So just because I most recently watched that one with my son, I'm going with.
We have Christmas Vacation or How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Oh man. Well, okay. Again, both were. So The Grinch was the staple of my childhood Christmas. But I think I have to go with Christmas Vacation simply because that's a tradition with my family and my parents that by the time my brother and I were teenagers, we watched that one every single year. So, I mean, I watch both, but I think I'm just going to go with Christmas Vacation. It's just such a funny movie.
The one that I watch more often is Christmas Vacation also, but the question is, which would you watch? And therefore, I'm going to pick The Grinch because I just saw a reel on Instagram the other day with Jim Carrey talking about all of the work that it took to get him into the makeup. And I was like, oh, I should give that movie another viewing because it's been a while. So what would I watch? It would be The Grinch, just to be different too.
Love it.
I saw that too. He said he had to go. They brought in somebody who taught people how to go through torture.
Yeah.
And he had yak hair all over him. And the only thing that got him by was two things: smoking with a long cigarette holder just so the yak hair wouldn't catch on fire. And the Bee Gees. Every song the Bee Gees put out,
Yeah.
he was in makeup. It was just
on
Bee Gees.
loop. Yeah, it was because the makeup process is, I mean, and again, I never thought of this before, but it obviously makes sense when you see what he looks like. It was an 8.5 hour makeup application. So every single day, 8.5 hours of sitting, and he felt claustrophobic from it, and it was just like not fun. And he said he was sitting there, this one's for the kids, this one's for the kids, this one's for the kids, and just like trying to like get himself okay with it.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to watch that. It makes you appreciate that film all the more.
totally.
Wow. That's something.
Which, speaking of it, I don't mean to make everybody feel old, but that film just turned 25 years old this year. Happy 25 years to The Grinch.
Wow.
They didn't like that.
It's not mean to make us feel that, but you succeeded, my friend.
That's
Did I actually mean not to do that? Or All right. So let's go on to a couple more classics. Scrooged or A Christmas Story?
Right.
Oh, man.
I'm going to say Scrooged.
Yeah.
A Christmas Carol is one of my favorite stories, period, not just Christmas stories. So for me, it's that.
Yeah, I have to say the same. Even though A Christmas Story is such, there's so many like quotable classic moments in that. I think I have to go with the all-time classic, Scrooge. Come on, you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
Speaking of classics, let's do a battle of Tim Allen. Christmas with the Cranks or the Santa Claus?
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus. Yeah. Yeah.
I have very, very fond memory. That's probably the Christmas movie I've seen the most out of any Christmas movie ever. It became a routine thing every single year with me, my dad, and my brother. And it was every single year since the movie came out, we would watch it. So
Nice. Yeah. That's special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have two rom-com Christmas movies, The Holiday or Love Actually.
Ooh. Again, both great films. I feel like I have such a strong, like such a happy memory of seeing Love Actually for the first time. I'll go with Love Actually just because it's just so much fun.
And I'm going to go with The Holiday because I've seen Love Actually more than I've seen The Holiday, and I'd like to see it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Jack
Such a
Black.
good.
Yeah,
Oh.
and in The Holiday, Jack Black is
Oh,
absolutely
great.
hilarious in that
He's
role.
so good. He's so good. Yeah. They're both classics. Great.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Speaking of classics, let's throw it back before any of us were even born or even thought of at that point. It's a Wonderful Life or White Christmas?
Oh, both of them are amazing. Corey, you go first.
I'm going to go with It's a Wonderful Life. Just because I feel like that's one of those ones when it's on, I can't not. I mean, you can't go wrong with either of them, but yeah, I'm going to go with A Wonderful Life.
Yeah, I am too. I have a really strange allergic reaction that happens every time I watch that movie. It's usually near the end, but my eyes just really start watering uncontrollably, and I can't help it. So there's some. I love that movie so much. I love both of those movies, but It's a Wonderful Life. There's honestly, Corey, you were saying it's often on television, right? And no matter what part it's at, you're flicking through, you're going to watch it till the end, no matter what.
Yeah.
It
hooks you in. It's such an emotion, it pulls on the heartstrings, man. And it's a beautiful film. And I think kind of like an anchor for a lot of the films that came after, like it covered so many incredible themes and yet is so uplifting and so feel good. It's the tentpole, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll take us into our Christmas song, this or that, and then we'll go into just some quick general fun stuff before we end this off. So we will each take a turn, and Kirsten will go first. We have 4 of these for you guys.
Okay.
We have Santa Baby or Christmas in Hollis.
Santa Baby for me. What is the other one? Christmas?
Christmas in Hollis. It's by Run DMC. It's like a rap Christmas one.
Yeah.
I'm not as familiar with that song, so that's that. I have to go with the other one just because I don't know it as well.
Yeah.
Well, then, just for fun, I'm gonna say Christmas in Hollis.
I want to go as soon as we're done here. I'm gonna have to go listen to that. So I probably have heard it, but I'm gonna have to check that one out.
Yeah, you should watch the music video for it too. It's pretty
It's
funny.
great.
Yeah.
You guys heard it. You'll hit play.
Okay, cool.
Immediately. And I'm going to talk about 2 indie songs that nobody has ever heard of. They've never been played on the radio before. All I Want for Christmas Is You or Last Christmas. These 2 little known songs that nobody's ever heard of.
Are those guys popular at all? I can't quite tell. I don't know if they are.
Man, with a name like George Michael, I mean, that guy had to be a legend at some point.
Yeah. You know what? Hopefully, if they stick with it, they could have, something could happen for them.
Let's pray for him.
Yeah, exactly. Man, how do you choose? I mean, the Mariah. I mean, yeah, I think that one. I know. Okay, all right. You go first, Mike.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna need a second on this. I'm gonna say. We're just saying which one we like. We're not saying the other one vanishes off the face of the earth and doesn't exist. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I couldn't do that to either of those songs for the sake of Christmasness.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Last Christmas because I like the music video.
I do too.
And I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with All I Want for Christmas because without fail, as soon as I hear that song, I'm just automatically in the Christmas spirit. Like I'm like, yep, I'm in.
Yeah.
Gets me every time. So yeah.
I do have to say too, if you haven't seen it, they did like a documentary on George Michael on Netflix, and they talked about like how he made Last Christmas, and it was like the craziest story of how he came up with it. He was watching like a soccer game on TV, and he just started like getting a beat in his head, and he's like, I got to go write this down, and they like told the whole story. It was so neat.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah. And we have White Christmas or It's Beginning to Look Like Christmas.
All right. I love my classics.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Bing Crosby on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Same. Yeah. Got to go with that.
Yeah. Definitely gets you in the holiday mood.
Yeah. My parents had like an 8-track player, and all those Bing Crosby classics were like early childhood, just kind of ringing through the house. So yeah, that 100% can't go wrong.
Bublé is awesome though, and Canadian. So I got to give him a shout out for that.
So
and his
special
album is amazing.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Good Canadian kid.
Yeah, exactly.
2 classics as well to end this off. Rocking Around the Christmas Tree or Do They Know It's Christmas?
For me, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree. I've always loved that song. Yeah.
I actually, for some reason, today have Rocking Around the Christmas Tree stuck in my head. It's an earworm at the moment, so I have to pick that one because that's. I think I heard it yesterday or something as I was in the mall. Or I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
But I've been constantly in the back of my head all day. So.
Yeah. Such a fit. It's feel good. I love it. That's one of my favorites every year.
And to end this off, we're going to get to know you guys just a little bit better. So we are going to go into just some general fun questions. And we'll go back to childhood because who doesn't want to be in either of these worlds? I'm going to do a would you rather be in a Star Wars movie or in a Marvel movie? And for Mike, which one would you rather direct?
All right. Okay.
Nice.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Corey, do you want to go first?
Okay, I'll lead with that because I'm of a certain age that Star Wars was my childhood. The Marvel films didn't come out till I was a little older. So just from a nostalgia perspective, I was such a Star Wars guy. I got to go with Star Wars.
Yeah, so we'll have to make a Star Wars movie then, dude, because I want to. But I'll say this though, I would be also a little nervous. I think I'd be more nervous to make a Star Wars movie than a Marvel movie. I love Marvel and I love Star Wars, but to me, Star Wars is, again, because it's such a piece of my upbringing in terms of what I was a fan of and why I even wanted to get into making movies. And so I would feel like there'd be a lot of pressure, but oh boy, would I ever love. Corey, you could do the lightsaber, you'd be a Jedi, or would you want to be like a Han Solo type character?
Oh my God. Yeah. You know what? That's a great
I could
question.
see you both. Like I could
Like as a kid, my answer probably would have been Han Solo, just because I was such a Harrison Ford, but as I've gotten older, there's something I appreciate the Jedi more and more. And I've done a little bit of martial art and weapon work. So it would be pretty sweet to be able to learn how to actually wield a lightsaber properly. That would be, I like it. Let's have a Han Solo-esque Jedi, like a little bit of a rogue Jedi or something. That would be fun.
That would be okay. We're making this movie.
Yeah, I love it.
Let us do it.
Yeah.
On Hallmark and Disney Plus collab 2020.
Yeah,
2029.
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, but I would have to say that my son obviously is more of a Marvel kid because that's what he's been introduced to. So the idea of me being involved in any sort of Marvel project would blow my son's mind. So me selfishly Star Wars, but if I was doing it for the fam, I would do the Marvel.
Would you rather watch a rom-com or write a rom-com?
I do enjoy, my wife is a writer. I'm not a writer. I do enjoy working with writers. But I would have to say, because I'm not a writer, I think I got to give the lazy answer and say, watching a great rom-com would be very enjoyable.
I'm going to say for the same reasons that answer as well. I work with writers a lot, but I don't consider myself a writer. So I would want them to write it. So therefore, my answer is I'd love to.
Yeah, and I really appreciate the art of writing a good rom-com. Yeah. Having a front row seat with my wife, it is a well done rom-com looks so effortless, but it's a real art form. So big props to all those writers out there.
100%.
We have 4 more, and then we will end this. This one gets a lot of people in trouble, especially up there in Canada. So this is my favorite question because everyone gets nervous.
Can we pass before we start?
Right. Controversy.
All right.
Dun, dun, dun.
Let's do this.
Bring it on. Yeah.
Would you rather become a regular on Heartland or When Calls the Heart? And for Mike, which one would you rather direct an episode of? When Calls the Heart or Heartland? Both massive fan bases. And they're vicious. They're vicious, but they love them.
They're passionate.
We can't do both. We can't do both.
Could.
Sure.
I think. Sure.
I don't know.
Go for it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can pick. I don't want to.
Are you both viewers of the shows?
Okay. Well, what I can tell you is I've been in Heartland.
Mm-hmm.
Not as a regular, but I had a guest starring role on, I believe, their first season. So I had a front row seat to just how wonderful that cast was. And they shot in Alberta, in the Rocky Mountains. And I got to play a really interesting character on that show. One of the characters was actually in the books because it was so early on in the, so I have, Heartland always has a special place in my heart. But When Calls the Heart, which I haven't been on, but it's a period piece, and I'm a sucker for a period thing as well. So, I mean, truthfully, both are fantastic shows, and I would consider myself lucky to be involved with either of them. I guess I could say as a slight nod to Heartland, just because I had the pleasure of meeting everybody and being a very, very small part of that show. But yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with either of them.
Yeah, I have to pick both. I'd love to work on either. So
Yeah. You got to do both. You got to do both because they're both family. There's that Western, the horse aspect of it. Like I got to work with the horses and stuff, and you get that experience on both. I feel like the only answer is you got to try to cover your ground and be a part of both.
Yeah, we can do another video when we have done both, and then we'll tell you which one we liked more. That'll really get
That's right.
An update, or we have to do the first Heartland When Calls the Heart crossover episode with some sort of time travel. That would maybe be the best way to go.
Right.
Yes, that would.
You guys both come back on, and then we get in trouble with everybody on those shows. we'll take a burn of it.
That's right.
Sorry, Cindy. No.
Yeah. Cindy's a great friend, so hats off to Cindy too.
She would know it's a joke.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, for sure.
What's the first thing you go for at the craft service table?
Well, for me, it's coffee.
I'm not a coffee drinker.
Yeah.
So every now and then Crafty will have here we are, cookies again. But they'll bring out, they'll warm up. I know they did this on our film. A couple days they warmed up cookies. And I mean, I was excuse me, and I'll be lining my way to the craft service table. So I try to stay healthy on set. So I'm usually going for a piece of fruit. But man, you bring out those warm cookies. I'm first in line.
We have a photo of us where me and you and Becky we were splitting the biggest donut I've ever seen in my life. It was like a donut like this big.
Yes.
And that was you guys were worse about it than I was.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, these donuts were so huge that we felt we needed to cut them in half.
Yeah.
But then of course you try 3 different kinds. So in the end you've still eaten the giant donut. But you're making a Christmas movie. You're in the spirit of, you got to enjoy. And It was worth it. Yeah.
Kirsten?
Okay, who was your first celebrity crush?
I'm gonna say. Do you have an answer, Corey? Do you want to go first?
So the first person that comes to mind, and being Canadian, Shania Twain.
Oh,
I had a pretty big crush on Shania. Yeah.
For me, it was probably Amy Jo Johnson, the Pink Power Ranger.
Okay.
Yeah. Also Canadian.
Also Canadian, I know.
Yeah.
And there's a funny story. We were both. This is many years later. We were both at a TIFF party, and I was going to go introduce myself to her. I've never met her before. To this day, I've never met her. And it was really funny because I was a little child again, and I wimped out and I couldn't do it.
Oh.
It's hilarious. I had that happen with her, and I had it happen with Joe Carter once, the Blue Jay, and I couldn't meet him, and it was intense panic, don't do it. And I've only felt that way ever about those 2 people. So
that's
that's
awesome. You will get a chance at redemption. I think one day it will happen, and then you'll be
100%.
We've had some of ours on here, and we're just nervous, and we're just trying not to stutter over our words, and then we meet them, and they're just so down to earth, and you fall in love with them immediately.
Of course.
And they just you feel at ease, and you're like, well, why was I nervous?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing. You talk to people and you realize, oh my gosh, but it's that initial, it's taking that leap, right? Of it gives you the butterflies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they become good friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of good friends, for Corey, who would you rather act in another movie with? Some of the Hallmark stars you haven't done. And Mike, who would you rather work with directing wise?
Name somebody, or is it an either or?
Anybody.
Okay. And people that we haven't yet worked with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So like you can't say Becky, Kat.
Right.
Oh yeah, geez, that's a great. God, I've been lucky. Like I've had so many wonderful coasts. I'm trying to think who's out there that I haven't had the chance. You might have to circle back to me. I'm gonna have to take a minute to think on this.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
have an answer. And actually, Corey, you have. I edited this movie, but I didn't direct it. But I'd love to work with Jodie Sweetin.
Oh,
I'd love to work with Jodie Sweetin. I met her that one day when
Yeah.
I was on set, and she seems as amazing in real life as her work is. And I've
Yeah.
edited her 5 times in 5 different movies now, so
Yeah.
I just know how good she is, and
Yeah.
I would love to get to direct a movie with her in it.
Oh
That
my
would be
gosh.
really cool.
Yeah, Jody is awesome. We had so much fun working together. Yeah, like I've worked. I'm trying to think of someone that I have.
I'm
that I
trying to
haven't-
think of who you haven't worked with yet.
Yeah, I know to say, but I've just been so lucky. Like I'm trying to think. You know, what's funny is someone who I met is not necessarily as Paul Campbell. I just really admire his work because I know he's in the writing and I think he's a wonderful actor. And I met him briefly at Christmas Con last year and we had a great chat. And I'm like, he would be a fun guy to get to like work with like on a creative level. And I'm just trying to think like I've worked with Taylor Cole and Natalie Hall and Becky and
Rhiannon
Lacey.
Finch?
No, you know what's funny is I have not worked with her, but whenever I've seen clips of her, that's a great answer because I think she's anything I've seen her in, she seems absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
And we have not had the chance to work together. So yes, I would definitely love to work with her.
Yeah, I was thinking Rhiannon, or have you worked with Erin Cahill yet?
No, I haven't. We've
Oh.
met briefly, but I
Okay.
haven't worked with her either. Okay, well there you go. There's 2 great names that putting it out in the universe. Maybe there's something for us down the road here.
You've been on something with Cindy, but I don't think you've been a love interest with Cindy, have you?
So when we did Everything Christmas, we did finally get to be love interest. Yeah. So we did. And Cindy and I had known each other for like 10 years prior to getting to work together. And we were on Heartland, but not at the same time. And we were going, same thing. She's really good friends with my wife. And it's like, when are we going to get a chance? And then lo and behold, we got to do it a few years back. So yeah, Cindy was off the list too. I'm like, geez, but no, yeah, Rihanna would be great. Yeah. Or Erin, they're both fantastic. So
Cindy, we just spoke to her last week and we know her so well. She is actually her adopted big sister actually now.
Oh my gosh.
That's great.
Yeah.
Cindy's the best. Like she's like, talk about a hilarious and amazing human being, but as you said, that's what's so wonderful is that so many people that I've gotten to work with in this space, especially, they are just great people. And that's what I think a part of the reason, that's my little hunch of why I think so many people love these films is because that positivity, that friendship really radiates in this business. And I think people can feel it. So I love hearing that, when I have the opportunity to talk to great people like you, who talk to so many people that you hear that by and large, they're good people, down to earth, humble. And that's nice to hear.
Well, everybody, thank you so much. We had so much fun and be ready because in the month of December, I believe on December 9th or 19th.
Yeah.
13th, on Saturday, December 13th, 8 p.m., 7 p.m. Central Time, you can see Rodeo Christmas Romance on Lifetime, or you can just watch on the W Network up in Canada.
That's right.
So until next time, everybody, like, subscribe for more, and we will see all of you guys next time. Keep your heart full of Hallmark.